The 1970s were a unique time for black kids, filled with powerful experiences and cultural moments that shaped their world. This wasn't just another decade. It was a transformative period when black culture exploded into mainstream consciousness while nurturing its own distinct identity in homes and neighborhoods across America. The backdrop was complex and challenging. The civil rights movement had achieved landmark victories, yet the struggle for true equality continued in new forms. Economic hardship hit black communities especially hard, with unemployment rates nearly double the national average. But amid these struggles, something remarkable happened. Black culture flourished with unprecedented creativity and pride. For black children growing up during this era, every day brought experiences that would become treasured memories. From the music pumping through living room speakers to the food filling Sunday dinner tables, from bold fashion statements to television shows that finally showed black families as whole and worthy of celebration. These weren't just personal moments. They were collective experiences that an entire generation shared, creating bonds that transcended geography and circumstance. What made the 1970s special wasn't just what black kids experienced. It was how those experiences connected them to something larger than themselves. Every Soul Train episode was a celebration of black excellence. Every Sunday church service reinforced community bonds. Every family gathering over soul food was a lesson in heritage and resilience, passed down through generations. Watching Soul Train every Saturday morning wasn't just entertainment for black kids. It was a cultural experience that brought entire communities together. Don Cornelius, with his smooth voice and cool demeanor, hosted a show that celebrated black music, dance, and style like nothing else on television. Children rushed through their chores to catch the latest episode, eager to watch their favorite artists perform and see dancers move down the Soul Train line with incredible moves. The show featured everyone from the Temptations to Marvin Gaye, showcasing the best of soul, funk, and R&B. For many young black viewers, Soul Train was proof that their culture was beautiful, exciting, and worth celebrating. Saturday mornings had a rhythm. Wake up, breakfast, then gather around the television as a family. Embracing the Afro, dashiki, and natural hair movement was a powerful expression of pride for black kids in the 1970s. During this period, many young people rejected the pressure to conform to white beauty standards and instead celebrated their African heritage. The Afro became an iconic symbol of black power and identity, with children and teens proudly wearing their natural hair in rounded shapes. This wasn't just about fashion. It was about returning to roots and showing the world that black beauty was something to be proud of. Dashikis, with their vibrant colors and African patterns, became popular for those wanting to connect with their ancestors. Parents and community leaders supported this movement, teaching children that their hair and culture were beautiful just as they were. Watching the Jackson 5 dominate radio and television was unforgettable for black kids in the 1970s. Michael Jackson and his brothers burst onto the scene with infectious energy, catchy songs, and dance moves everyone tried to imitate. Hit songs like I Want You Back and ABC played constantly, and children gathered to watch their performances on variety shows. The Jackson 5 weren't just talented. They were young, relatable, and proof that black kids could achieve superstardom. Their matching outfits, synchronized choreography, and undeniable charm made them role models. Young boys practiced moonwalking in living rooms, while girls sang along to every word. Watching black families on television through shows like Good Times was groundbreaking for black kids in the 1970s. Before this era, black families were rarely portrayed meaningfully on television. Good Times changed that by depicting the Evans family's life in a Chicago housing project with humor and love. The show tackled serious issues like poverty, racism, and family dynamics while still managing to make audiences laugh. For black kids watching at home, seeing a family that looked like them facing similar situations was deeply impactful. Families gathered every week to watch episodes together, discuss them, and relate them to their own lives. Listening to funk music from groups like Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind and Fire, and the Ohio Players was a defining part of life for black kids in the 1970s. Funk was more than music. It was a feeling, a movement, and a celebration of black creativity and freedom. The deep bass lines, powerful horns, and infectious rhythms made it impossible to stand still. Children danced everywhere they could hear the music playing. Parliament Funkadelic offered wild costumes and theatrical performances. Earth, Wind, and Fire created instant classics like September and Shining Star. Funk music was a source of pride and joy, representing freedom of expression and the power of black artistry. Visiting black-owned barbershops and beauty salons was integral to life for black kids in the 1970s. These spaces were far more than places for haircuts. They were community centers where families gathered, news was shared, and bonds were strengthened. Barbershops buzzed with conversations about everything from local events to politics and civil rights. Children sat and listened as adults debated and laughed, absorbing shared wisdom. The smell of hair products, the sound of clippers, and the warmth of familiar faces made these spaces feel like home. These black-owned businesses provided employment, supported the local economy, and gave people a sense of pride in their community. Watching the rise of blaxploitation, films like Shaft and Superfly was an exciting but complex experience for black kids in the 1970s. These movies featured black heroes who were powerful, stylish, and undeniably cool. Shaft, with his leather jacket and confident swagger, became an icon who stood up against injustice. For many black kids, seeing powerful black heroes on the big screen was thrilling because it showed them people who looked like them as leaders and champions. However, the films also sparked debates within black communities about whether they glorified negative stereotypes or empowered through representation. Watching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and other black athletic heroes dominate sports was a huge source of pride for black kids in the 1970s. Kareem wasn't just a basketball player. He was a towering figure who combined incredible skill with intelligence and a strong sense of identity. His signature skyhook shot was unstoppable. Beyond basketball, athletes like Muhammad Ali, Hank Aaron, and others were household names who showed what black excellence looked like. These athletes represented power, determination, and talent. Seeing these heroes succeed on grand stages gave young people role models and proof that they too could achieve great things. Celebrating Kwanzaa in black homes was a meaningful tradition that gained popularity throughout the 1970s. This 7-day celebration honored African heritage, culture, and values. Families lit a candle each night on the Kinara and discussed principles like unity, self-determination, and collective work. Children participated in craft activities, songs, and storytelling that celebrated African traditions. The celebrations included traditional foods, decorations in red, black, and green, and gifts emphasizing creativity and heritage. For black kids in the 1970s, celebrating Kwanzaa was a way of honoring ancestors and taking pride in their identity. Listening to Richard Pryor's groundbreaking comedy albums and watching his performances resonated deeply with black families in the 1970s. Pryor was a comedic genius who spoke honestly about race, poverty, relationships, and the black experience in America. His raw, unfiltered humor tackled topics others feared to touch. For black kids old enough to understand, listening to his comedy felt like hearing their own lives reflected back with brutal honesty and sharp intelligence. Pryor had a massive impact on comedy and culture, showing that black voices and black stories deserved to be heard on their own terms. Listening to Motown Records artists who were still topping charts in the 1970s was a source of pride for black youth. Artists like Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and Marvin Gaye remained cultural icons whose music played constantly in black homes. Songs like Superstition and What's Going On became anthems that spoke to the soul of the black community. Motown wasn't just a record label. It was a symbol of black excellence and creativity. Families gathered in living rooms to listen as these artists sang their way into history, bringing joy, peace, and unity. Seeing plastic furniture covers protecting living room couches in black homes was common in the 1970s. These clear, crinkly covers kept sofas and chairs looking new and pristine. For many families, furniture was a significant investment, and protection was a priority. Children knew that nice furniture with plastic covers wasn't for everyday use. It was reserved for special occasions or Sunday dinners. The plastic covers became a symbol of pride and care, showing that families valued what they had and wanted to preserve it. Roller skating at black-owned rinks was one of the most exciting activities for black kids in the 1970s. Rinks became popular venues where children and teens could skate to the hottest disco, funk, and soul songs. The flashing lights, DJ booth, and smooth wooden floors created an electric atmosphere that black-owned skating rinks provided safe, welcoming spaces where black youth could gather, socialize, and have fun. The sense of community was strong, with families often coming together on weekend nights. Roller skating was a cultural experience filled with music, laughter, and unforgettable memories. Having ebony and jet magazines in every black home was essential in the 1970s. These publications were lifelines to black culture, news, and achievements. Families eagerly awaited the latest issues, flipping through pages filled with photographs and interviews that reflected their lives. For children, looking through these magazines meant seeing people who looked like them succeeding and making history. The magazines covered everything from politics to entertainment, providing a comprehensive view of black life in America. Attending Sunday church services with fancy hats and powerful choir performances was a cherished tradition for black kids in the 1970s. Church was the heart of the community where families gathered to celebrate faith and connect with neighbors. Women wore stunning hats, turning Sunday mornings into graceful parades. The choir performances were powerful, with voices harmoniously singing gospel songs that touched the soul. For children, church taught values, discipline, and the importance of faith and family. Playing double dutch and hand-clapping games in the neighborhood was a daily ritual for black kids in the 1970s. These games required skill, rhythm, and coordination, providing endless entertainment. The sound of ropes hitting sidewalks and children's chants became the soundtrack of summer afternoons. These games brought children together, fostering friendships and community. No expensive toys were needed, just each other, some rope, and imagination. Watching Alex Haley's Roots miniseries in 1977 was transformative for black families. This groundbreaking television event told the story of Kunta Kinte's journey from Africa through slavery to freedom. Black families gathered for 8 consecutive nights, watching their history unfold with tears, anger, and pride. Roots sparked conversations about identity, heritage, and resilience. For many black kids, it was the first time they saw their history portrayed so vividly on television. Wearing platform shoes and bell-bottom jeans was essential fashion for black kids in the 1970s. These bold styles represented confidence, individuality, and connection to the decade's vibrant culture. Platform shoes added height with their thick soles, while bell-bottoms created an instantly recognizable silhouette. For black youth, fashion was a way of expressing themselves and showing pride. The fashion of the 1970s was loud, unapologetic, and fun, reflecting the era's energy and optimism. The 1970s gave black children experiences that shaped not just their childhoods, but their entire lives. These memories represent more than nostalgia. They're proof of how culture sustains, uplifts, and connects generations. From Soul Train to Sunday Church, every experience taught lessons about pride, community, and resilience. If you loved this journey back to the 1970s, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment sharing which memory resonated with you most. We might feature your story next. Together, we're preserving history that deserves to be remembered.